Alright guys, this is my latest creation. For guys that actually watched my YouTube video, I had made another created song that just had my face on it. I didn't have a way to actually record when I was actually making it. So this time you get a chance to look at my latest creation, and this is probably the most complicated one that I've ever done. It's off a video game, Street Fighter 2. It's the Sagat theme music. It's the guy that says Tiger, Tiger, uppercut. That guy. His music is very complicated. It took me a while to listen to it over and over again to actually get the time signature. It's actually in 11/8 for some of you guys music geeks out there. It's 11 beats per measure. And that's very uncommon. Normally you have 4 beats to measure, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine if we got 11. So it can get kind of offbeat, and there's actually one measure that's actually 7 beats long that really threw me off when I actually listened to it. But this is a studio, Fruit Loop Studio. You see at the bottom, FL Studio. And I actually broke the song down in parts. And if you zoom in here, it says PAT, says part. That's one part of the song, or pattern, sorry, pattern number 1. So this is the first pattern. This is like the very beginning. It'll sound a little familiar, but when I put it all together, you'll see it. But here's part 1. This is the beginning. All right, and actually the drum line is pretty tight. I'm gonna take the music part out and just have you listen to the drum part. It has a pretty good beat to it. You hear that offbeat? So you got a kick right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there you go. So when I say it's complicated, I mean it. It actually is complicated. All right, so let's bring that back in there. So that's the first part. Bring those 3 in there and incorporate it with the music. That's the first part of it. All right, now here's the second part. This is actually when you get into the main chords. It's similar to the first part, it just doesn't have that kick note at the beginning and the snare beat. It doesn't have like that little riff on it, but it's the main. It's pretty much the main bass line for the most part. That'll pretty much be played a majority of time throughout the rest of the song. All right, and then you got the melody line, which will also be played oftentimes quite a bit. This is just the melody only with no drums. And as you can see, it's a trumpet and a cheap brass. Cheap brass actually sound pretty good though. Had a good combination with it. So, all right, but that's pattern 3. Then pattern 4. This is like a transition pattern. It transitions to the next part. You see at the very end where it gets kind of fast. Even though it's the same tempo. By the way, the tempo is 220, so it is pretty fast. All right, and it transitions to this next part, which kind of goes together. This is the upbeat of the measure, and then pattern 6 is pretty much the downbeat of it, because it has to go in harmony together. And then this is the part that kind of kicks it off back into another transition, which is number 8 here. Now this transition, number 8, this is the one that's actually in 7/8 time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See that? It gets very complex. And then pattern 9 is another, like a second melody part. That's with the trumpet. And then pattern 10 is the same melody line with I guess a saxophone. And hey, you see that little riff at the end? It's the only difference. Now we're gonna put it all together in a song, and this is where the song portion goes, the playlist, and it's kind of hard to see, but I got it here. It starts off with pattern 1, then you got pattern 2 and 3 together. You're gonna see that quite a bit. Pattern 3 goes to twice as long as pattern 2, so I have to put pattern 2 in twice to loop it around to cover it. Then you got that transition in pattern 4, and then you got pattern 3 again with the little upbeat downbeat pattern 5 6, and then 5, and then 7, that transition. And then you got that 7 beat measure right there, pattern 8. Then you got the second melody with pattern 2, and then it goes back into pattern 2, pattern 3 again, then the transition, pattern 4, and you got that up and down beat with pattern 5 6, 5 7, and then the transition, and then the melody with the saxophone, and then it starts back over. And basically I'm gonna fade it out. When I record it, I'm gonna fade it out towards the end, because there's really no end to the song. You just have to fade it out basically. So I'm gonna start it from the very beginning. I'll let you guys follow along if you want to follow. Transition. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. There's a transition. Transition again. Up, down, here it is again. 7 8, the 7 beat measure. There's the saxophone. See, there it is, pattern 2, pattern 3 again. Like I said, it's very common. And then I think we're near the end of it. So I'm gonna do that up down one more time. I just like that part. Alright, and this is pretty much the end. And when I get right here, I pretty much fade it out. I pretty much fade it out at that point. That's the end right there. That's the end. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and record it and post the official one on YouTube. But this is the background that goes into it.